Yo, what's good, card game homies, and welcome back. On today's menu, we don't even have a complete deck for you, but a shell. And I have a challenge for you. So I've read a lot of comments or even thumbnails, video titles, Reddit posts, whatsoever. Play this, Cube Stealer, Meta Breaker, this deck gets you to infinite, 90% win rate, and so on. Well, what do I have to say to that? In my opinion, there is no free ticket to infinite. A good player with a mediocre deck is more likely to hit infinite than an average player or maybe even a bad player with the best deck in the game. For example, Shui. So, my challenge for you guys is to use this shell. I will explain it right now, don't worry about that. And to fill up the open deck slots with whatever you feel comfortable with. So, why is this shell good to learn the game? We pass a lot with this deck, alright? And passing enables us to make better decisions, to think more about what is our opponent playing, what do we have to expect, can we compete with that, and so on. So let's get into the small deck tech of this shell. First off, we have Sunspot. This card sees more play than Cristiano Ronaldo, so there's probably no need to explain it. I will do it anyway though. It's a 1-1 with the passive ability at the end of each turn gain +1 power for each unspent energy. So if we pass, we don't get punished for a tempo loss that much. Next off, we have She-Hulk. She-Hulk, with the recent drop to pool 3, is one of the best cards in the game. It's very flexible, it's really good, and you can play her in many decks. If you don't have her yet and see her appearing in your token shop, I would highly recommend to buy her. You won't regret it. Same goes for Arrow, by the way. So She-Hulk is a 6 energy, 10 power card with the passive ability costs 1 less for each unspent energy last turn. This obviously has great synergy with Sunspot, but that's not all. Let's keep on going. The last card, which gets an advantage for passing, or rather is even only then playable if we pass, is Infinite, the former most powerful card by itself in the game. It's a 6 energy, 20 power card with the condition, I would say not ability, if you played a card last turn, you can't play this. So obviously, if we play Infinite, he effectively costs at least 11 mana, but that's fine in this shell, alright? We also play Moongirl, and the only purpose of Moongirl in this deck, Moongirl is a 4/4 with the on-reveal ability duplicate your hand. We want to copy our She-Hulk. And last but not least, we play Magic, a 5/3, which cannot be played on turn 6. And the on-reveal ability changed this location to Limbo. And Limbo, of course, is this wonderful location. There is a 7th turn in this game. So this basically means our main goal is to get Sunspot on the board as early as possible, get She-Hulk into our hand, copy it with Moongirl, play Magic on turn 5, and on turn 6 we almost always just pass, alright? And on turn 7, after our Sunspot, in best case scenarios, absorbed a lot of power by all that passing, we have 2 She-Hulks we can play for 0 cost alongside of Infinite, and we have 1 energy left to play Titania, for example, or anything else you want. You can even pass and get another power for your Sunspot. So, how do you fill this deck? I would say you want to play a lot of cheap cards. You could play Wasp, you could play the Hood, Ant-Man, you could play Iceman, you could play Korg, as explained. Titania is really good. You can play even Rocket Raccoon for a potential 1 energy 4 power play in your very last and 7th turn. And yeah, why do we want to play a lot of cheap cards? We want to keep our hand size very small. So if we draw into She-Hulk, that we are able to copy her with Moongirl and our hand doesn't get clogged. You could also run tech cards, and you should run tech cards. For example, you could play Armor to screw up destroy matchups, and of course to protect your big boys and big girls from opposing Shang-Chi's. You can of course play, where is the good boy? You can play Cosmo for the same purpose. He is mainly there to protect your big cards from Shang-Chi as well. We can play Shang-Chi ourselves to compete with opposing Shuri decks, of course. And of course, you could also play Arrow. It's never bad to play Arrow, honestly. So, in the following gameplay, you will see me losing on purpose for yeah, for learning purpose. So you can see I try to see what our opponent, which kind of deck he's playing, what do I have to expect, and can I compete with that or not. I still had a lot of success, honestly, and if I wouldn't have thrown some games on purpose, I would have even climbed. And also, this deck is not that weak. In my opinion, you can definitely even climb with that. But the main purpose of this video is my challenge to you to take this shell and play 50 to 100 games. It depends how much time you are able to invest, and play around and experiment with the deck slots. Use different cheap cards, use different tech cards, see which cards you play more often, which seem like more or less dead draws, and yeah, get a feeling for snapping, for retreating. The passing enables you to be able to observe and make better decisions in future. So, without further ado, I had a lot of fun still, and I recorded some really neat gameplay. I hope you enjoy. See you next time. Peace. Guys, we are playing against the Avengers. Let's go. First off, we have Monster Metropolis. This could be neat for Infinite if we manage to get him off. We also have Moongirl and Magic. I'm now only looking for She-Hulk, and our opponent snaps turn 1. Guys, never snap turn 1. See it like that. Even if you have a perfect hand to start off, you could scare away your opponent and you get one measly cube, and that's not worth it. So don't go for that and snap turn 2, it makes no difference. Turn 1 snap is almost as bad as a turn 6 snap. Continue. There we go, guys, we have the nuts. Honestly, I'd love to snap back. Our game plan is absolutely clear, and I think I will snap back actually. Yep, let's go for it. There is not much else I could wish for. Maybe Titania, but this is the nuts. So, White Queen. He gets our Infinite, which is okay. Unfortunately, we didn't have Prio to slam our Cosmo first, but we are still good. We are still good for sure. He passes, alright. Now, we will play Magic, but where do we want to play Magic? I think we will play her in... No, actually, we don't. I want to play her over here. And what do you got for me? It's a Dino. Sweet. We can beat that. And this turn we obviously just pass. So our She-Hulks get discounted to 0 mana. And we can follow up with an Infinite double She-Hulk play, which is insane, guys. We can also play the She-Hulks into the big house, which is nuts. Because of the discount, by the way. Coulson, Mystique, alright. That's pretty good. So, let's think about how we want to play this out, right? I think we play it just like that. Both She-Hulks into the big house may seem like an overcommitment, but we need only to win 2 lanes. They are protected by Cosmo as well. Our opponent has priority, so no need to be afraid of Shang-Chi. We fill the left with Sunspot, so our Ant-Man gets +3 power as well, and our Infinite is very likely to get the buff of Monster Metropolis. Let's start off with a sweet 8-cuber, I guess. Let's see, our opponent is maybe on the retreat later button? No, he stays. Proud of your opponent. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Arrow could really screw us, yeah. But we still have it. That's not enough. That's absolutely not enough. GG, guys. I take it. Sweet 8-cuber right from the get-go is always nice to start off. Enrias, or whatever you pronounce your name. Well, we start off with Iceman. We get Sentry from the hub. We could eventually make use out of that if we decide to abandon the right. Quantum Realm. Huh. I want to play Psylocke to maybe to ramp into Sentry, honestly. That depends on the third location, obviously, though. Let's see. Miniaturized lab. So, we take it. That's actually awesome. But it's not snap worthy yet, since we don't have She-Hulk, we don't have Infinite, no Sunspot, but this is still pretty good. We get a 8 power unit for free. Alright, Electro. This can go two ways. Either this is Sandman, or this is, what's his face, Galactus. And if it's Galactus, we have the nuts with Cosmo for sure. Still, no Sunspot, no She-Hulk, so I think we will just go like this. Please don't be a Viper and give me that Electro, that would be really bad. Sunspot, alright, so I assume it's Sandman. There we go, guys, we have She-Hulk. No Moon Girl, unfortunately, but that is absolutely fine. We will play Magic into the hub. And honestly, I wanted to snap, but I was too slow. Maybe that's good that I didn't snap. It's Magneto, and he has nothing to move. Alright. I will snap now. He snaps back. That gets pretty intense. We pass to reduce the cost of our She-Hulk to 0, and maybe, just maybe, if we are lucky, we have a 33% chance to draw into Infinite, which would be awesome. So, we don't get it, unfortunately, but it's pretty obvious that our opponent will follow up with an Odin onto his Doctor Doom. It's a Sandman deck, but our opponent didn't draw into Sandman. So, Shang-Chi nukes Magneto, and we get another 5 power over here, and we only have to beat... How do we do this? We have no shot of winning the middle location, and we go 13 over here. He gets +8, and we lose the tiebreaker. We also have no priority to counter our opponent's Odin. I will just go for the play to showcase this to you, and we're fine losing 8 cubes, we're not climbing anymore anyway, just so you see this would be a classic retreat. I honestly don't see a line of play which could win us the game, so this is for showcase purposes. Show me the Odin. Yep. And we lose the tiebreaker in the middle. Unfortunately, as explained. If we would have priority, which you usually don't have with this deck, this would be an 8-cuber for us. But yeah, we learned something, I hope. Go. Daily Bugle. Some information is always welcome. Sunspot Unfortunately, Sunspot is not a huge tell. We know what our opponent's turn 1 play will be, but that's nowhere near enough to be able to know which deck he's actually playing, right? We have double Sunspot though, which is really cool, and we will go for that line of play. He could have gotten Shang-Chi, our Shang-Chi from the Daily Bugle, which could backfire really bad, not gonna lie. But could also have gotten something else. Invisible Woman. Haven't seen her for a long time. We obviously pass, we have no play. And I assume our opponent will play some unrevealed cards over here and we double soak, which is so good. This is the reason why we are not allowed to play multiple copies of one card. So, unfortunately, space issues. And we cannot copy our She-Hulk with our Moongal. So, we will just play... Honestly, what do we do? I think we will just soak and follow up with magic next turn. 0? I'm a bit confused. I cannot tell which kind of list this is. Huh. Let's play magic into Clintar to even out the odds. Over here we probably abandon the Devilier. We snap. And we snap because we have our sunspots below 9 power and not in Shang-Chi range. Next turn we will pass, we get a lot of information. So maybe we will play armor over here. Yeah, and our opponent invests into Nidavellir, which is absolutely fine. What is this though? It's a Typhoid Mary. So this kind of makes it likely that he also may run Shang-Chi himself. So we pass, no matter what. And I think next turn we will go for the armor to the left. Yeah, nice arrow, bro. So Shang-Chi gets way too much value over here. Huh, but Cosmo does basically the same thing. We don't have priority, but Invisible Woman cards you play here are not revealed until the game ends, so we don't need priority to be protected over here. And you know what? This seems very good to me. We already snapped, yeah, and She-Hulk with Shang-Chi should easily be able to beat Nidavellir, except our opponent spams like 3 or... Honestly, you have to spam 4 cards to even win this. Let's see, Lizard. That's really good. We Shang-Chi both of those cards and we take that sweet, sweet, calculated win. That's what I love about this deck. It almost doesn't matter what those cards are. This could be a Shang-Chi of ours since color is telling me it's... Yeah, it is, it is, it is. See? That was a great win, wasn't it? Pain with no avatar whatsoever. Getting a hiccup. And we get a Moon Knight. Interesting. Anyway, we start off with Sunspot and pretend we play Dracula, and so does our opponent, but in an unrevealed location. Hey, this could have been Superflow, and we would have an advantage right now. This could have been, or this could become Bar with no name, and our opponent gets punished very hard. And yeah, what do we do next? There is no need for armor to save Sunspot. That's just Shang-Chi protection in this case, honestly. We could just soak. Or we can go for the Moon Knight and try to snipe something. Also, this thins our hand, and since no one snapped, and we want our hand to get thinned in case you draw into She-Hulk to double it up with Moongirl and so on, you get the point. I will go for the Gamble, since no one snapped. Daredevil and Soulstone. So this is a mouse list, and we are, unfortunately, I wanted to keep magic for sure. And he lost Magneto. Huh. So we lost the ride, unfortunately. And Moon Girl is not that good, to be honest, so I will just pass. So does our opponent. He's probably looking for Lockjaw. There we go. We draw into She-Hulk. And you know what? With the Super Flow, can we play She-Hulk and Infinite next turn already? Huh. That's interesting. But we could also set up an armor and a She-Hulk, and then we pass one more turn, and then we win by just playing Infinite, I guess? For Thanos deck, he's too far behind, and I also want to play around Leech with this line of play. So if he leeches us, we are in a very good spot. Let's see. If he somehow runs Professor X, though, that would be bad for us. No, he denied us the ramp. He ramped himself with Time Stone. So we are forced to pass. I still think this was a good play because of Leech. Obviously, Leech screws us over. So, what do you do with your Daredevil? Give me a Hobgoblin, I assume? It's funny to pass into the Daredevil turn, isn't it? Passing, by the way, is so underrated, not only for this deck, which obviously has a big advantage for passing, but passing, yeah, I should make a guide on passing, honestly. I don't have any guide in mind to recommend, so maybe it's my turn to do that. So Thanos, yep. Yeah, and we can play our Infinite, and he can play Arrow. And if he plays Arrow, we are actually fine. But he only needs to get 4 more power on the left, which is ridiculously easy to achieve. And if I would climb, this is once again a case I would just retreat. But since we are not dependent on the cubes, I will go for this line of play. And yeah, he snapped, so he does. Pretty sure, but yeah, just to go for it. I give him the fist bump and let's see. That's a retreat, honestly. Yeah, Polaris is exactly enough by 1, you see. And you did well, opponent. You did very well. In hindsight, of course, we could say that Moon Girl and Ant-Man would be enough to win here, and we would tie over here, but anyway, we would lose over here, because he played Sunspot into the Quantum realm, and since he soaks up power, that's awesome. Milo, and he doesn't want to see any emos. Understandable. We respect that. We have magic in our opener. I'd love to see She-Hulk, Moon Girl, all that good stuff, you know. And we start off with Iceman into the Eternity range. So, next off the Baxter building. There we go. We got She-Hulk. Unfortunately, we have no turn to play. So, Elysium, spicy. That's snap-worthy. That's definitely snap-worthy. I will play Cosmo into the Baxter building. No, actually, you know what? We play Cosmo into the Eternity range. And we play Armor into the Baxter building. He goes for Elysium himself, alright? Lockjaw. Interesting. That's really good. That's just really, really good. We play Magic just to make use of all our mana or energy and let him rotate as much as he wants. Is this Thanos, I wonder? No, it's not. Pretty good to get Electro into your Lockjaw lane though, gotta admit that. It's now Galactus? Are you Galactus, my friend? We beat Galactus most likely, you know? No need to play Moongirl into the Baxter building though. We have to play it into the Limbo. Cosmo denies Moongirl's effect, and we definitely want to copy our She-Hulks. Next turn we will pass, and then we will slam double She-Hulk and Infinite, and it should be game pretty much. Bet you wouldn't play Galactus in a Lockjaw deck, would you? Nice Destroyer, bro. That's why I'm not a huge fan of Lockjaw most of the times. Of course, with Thanos, he's just incredibly good. This still could be Galactus, not gonna lie. But yeah, we're in a good spot. He can only play Galactus into the Baxter building, and we have Armored Dad. So, Death and Yondu. Almost cute. We have this in the bag, guys. An Infinite into the Baxter building, a She-Hulk to follow up, and another She-Hulk to the left. Should be game. Let's see if he stays. This could be one of Ordinary Harry's lists. Great guy, by the way, love to watch his streams. Such a cool dude. And he makes the most fun negative decks in my opinion. But I think he built a Galactus Destroyer deck with null like this once. I'm not sure though. Yeah. I take it, GG. Who's next? It's Frankie Fury, and he's gooey yet firm. So, and we start off with the miniaturized lab, and we will play Iceman into it. That's basically a no-brainer. Iceman is such a good card, guys. I honestly wonder how this is not a 2-drop or maybe a 1-power unit at least. This effect can single-handedly screw your whole curve over. Anyway, we follow up with Sunspot into miniaturized lab in a deck where we like to pass a lot. It's just a good play. So, seeing Zero, I instantly assume we are playing against Shuri. And if that's the case, we have to play our Cosmo very smart. We have to keep priority, which should be doable by just passing, and I very much think that our opponent will play Shuri into Kiln. Let's see, I will snap. Make him think a little bit. Why did I snap? I mean, this is a Shuri deck most likely, and we're cool with it. It's a Maximus, alright. We lose priority, unfortunately. Hate to see it, hate to see it. Anyway, we will play She-Hulk with the with the reduced cost. It's a Sauron. We tie and kill. He has no Shuri apparently though. Shang-Chi is a really great draw. So, what do we do next? Honestly, I think we pass and enable the Infinite. Even if we have priority, it's almost too late for Shuri, and I want to soak up some power with Sunspot and follow up with Infinite. Our opponent hasn't made his decision yet. Here we go. I don't really care for that, to be honest. That's fine with me. How do we do this? I think we will move She-Hulk and just slam the Infinite over here. And just to be sure. No, we keep Iceman over here in case he plays Red Skull. But if he plays Red Skull over there, we actually lose. I still go for it. Maybe ballsy. We'll see. Come on, Frankie. Do you move anything to New York? I don't think he thinks that we will contest New York because he gave us a goblin. He just retreated. No Shuri, no win, I guess. GG, I take it. EMB, Yogurt Sun. Bird. Could not agree more, bro. Well, yeah, let's start off with Iceman into the Quantum Squirrel Girl. So only two options. Either this is Destroy, and we have to expect Killmonger, which is okay, we don't really need Iceman, or it's Patriot. So, in case this is Destroy, and they want to get an advantage of Danger Room by playing Bucky into it, or I don't know, whatever, we don't have priority anyway, I still think I want to play Armor into the Danger Room. There we go, it is Destroy. Do we get priority? No, we don't. But, guys, we have one lane secured with Armor, and we can screw him over on another lane, Cosmo. So if he does not destroy Bucky this turn, we definitely snap and we are in such a great spot. Let's see. So, Killmonger, absolutely fine with me. And we reveal the Cosmo. So the only lane he's able to destroy anything is over here. That's snap-worthy in my opinion. We will play Sunspot and we will soak. Since Killmonger is already gone, we don't have to be afraid that our Sunspot gets destroyed. And you know what? It's actually way better to play Sunspot into the Quantum Realm. First off, he gets double the power, which is only 2 to be fair, but he soaks, and if our opponent plays anything over here, it only has 2 power, and we have the advantage. So this lane is almost already won. Do we go for magic or do we just pass and follow up with Chavez? I don't think this is enough and we kind of have to play magic right now, which is okay. Wave, to be expected, it's Death Wave. Almost no matter what, we will pass this turn. And I really hope he still plays his arrow, so it cannot screw us over the very next turn. Let's see. She-Hulk and arrow, there we go. Now we at least know to work with and we draw into Infinite, which is really good. And now we only have to decide which lane we trying to win. We definitely want the left, which is awesome. And we are further behind on the Danger Room. So it's almost a 50-50, almost. But since we are further behind in the Danger Room, I think it's a better play to play our cards into the Danger Room because he is more likely to invest into the Limbo, I believe. I don't think he will try to contest us over here, but I could be wrong. I could also be wrong, but that's a classic case of a 50-50. And that's absolutely up to you if you retreat or take the chance to win a 50-50. And he retreats. So we were ballsy and we didn't get punished and our opponent retreated. So we took the 50-50 and he didn't. GG. Rum, and he whines on the internet. I hope you're not one of those Reddit guys, man. Kiln kind of forces us to go quickly into Kiln, and we see 0, so we assume it's Shuri. And to beat Shuri, we have either Cosmo or Shang-Chi. However, for Cosmo, we need priority. And we have no shot of getting priority, unfortunately. So, blind Cosmo is not the way. Nexus is very interesting, let me tell you that. So I won't play Cosmo into the Nexus. That being said, 100% I won't. I will just pass. I will just pass. I want... For flip's sake, yeah. I didn't want to play Cosmo into the Nexus because I wanted to Shang-Chi whatever he plays. But with armor, yeah, that won't work. So we have two options right now, okay? We could either play Moon Girl and copy our She-Hulk. However, to be able to pull that off, we are 100% depending on magic. And if we don't draw into magic, we're screwed. Right away, we are just screwed. And we have 4 cards we could draw next turn. And that's too much of a high roll for me, so I will just go She-Hulk. There we go, there is the Shuri. And yeah, we have to pass. We have no better play. Yeah, that's too much for us. That's too much for us. So even if we play Infinite, right, we get 22 additional power, and he can follow up with Taskmaster, and even if Captain Marvel moves over here, that's obviously not enough. And yeah, our opponent snapped on the very last turn, which is not a good snap, obviously. And once again, this is a retreat. Obviously, we definitely lose, but just for learning purposes, we stay once again. Show me the Taskmaster or whatever this is. Yep. And of course we lose.
Higher, further, faster, baby.
Yeah, great move, Captain Marvel. I don't know about you. Are you a fan of Shuri? Are you not? Shuri, in my opinion, is a bit overtuned, not too much. Obviously, this is the perfect combo, or the one with Taskmaster She-Hulk, but I believe Shuri is the first real power creep we experienced in Marvel Snap. So let's compare her to the old Silver Surfer. And let's say Surfer would never have been nerfed, right? Shuri would still easily overpower the old Silver Surfer. Take a Brood Lane with Maximus even and give that a Surfer buff, and you're nowhere near enough to beat Shuri. So in my opinion, as explained, I think this is the first real case of a power creep, and it's not easy to compete with that. See, we played She-Hulk and Infinite, and it's nowhere near enough because of the 2 units with 30 power. But hey, it is what it is, and we would have won with Shang-Chi if it wasn't for armor, and it's fine. There is still counterplay. Also, Arrow, yeah, hard to pronounce, would have been really good. Ichitaka Seto. Cool name, honestly. I don't know if this has any meaning or not, but sounds neat. We start off with Sunspot. There's not much of a better play available. And we will follow up with Sunspot just to discourage our opponent to invest into the left location. Honestly, Sunspot is somewhat of a mini Dracula. If you play Sunspot, your opponent is likely not to want to contest said lane, and if we follow up with Ant-Man, that's even more discouraging. So, yeah, we have to get rid of our hand, honestly, because we have Moon Girl, and if we manage to draw into She-Hulk, we want to copy that. Honestly, that's not really snap-worthy yet, so we will just play it like this. Luke Cage, so a hazmat list. Is this Cerebro? I don't know. And he snaps back, so that's unfortunate. Honestly, I would retreat right now. Of course, we are far ahead, but we have more cards on the board than our opponent does, and that's what a hazmat deck wants you to do. We have Moon Girl, but we have nothing we want to copy, and it's too late next turn, so our best line of play would be just a pass. However, I would stay for the learning purpose. I would usually retreat. Wong, alright? Cosmo would be the nuts. No Cosmo, alright. We keep on soaking then. Sarah, We actually have a shot of winning. I'm not even kidding. If we play it like this, we have a pretty good shot of winning. Let's say he plays Hazmat. That's nowhere near enough to beat us. But Sarah, there could something else be coming with that. Shang-Chi maybe to nuke our Sunspot. I won't snap back because I would have retreated anyway on turn 3 or 4, I believe. But as explained, we stay just to learn something from that. But I don't think we're in a bad spot, honestly. Shang-Chi, yeah, that's the only card which beats us, and it's fine. We take it. Titania and Ironheart. GG. Free to play MP, or maybe fun to play. I love how we, in the community, we implemented the terminology of FTP being fun to play instead of being free to play. What's your opinion, by the way, guys? Do you think this game is pay to win, or is it cool? He discarded a Black Cat. Which deck runs Black Cat? That's weird. Anyway, we follow up Sunspot, soak up some power. Maria Hill and Black Cat. I'm a bit confused, I'm not gonna lie. Do we want to play Psylocke? No, actually we just soak. That's fine. We're ahead. Lady Sif, so he sticks to the discard. We Hela. And we cannot copy the She-Hulk with our Moon Girl. If we would have played Psylocke last turn, that would have been great, but not like this, unfortunately. So I would just play the She-Hulk into the Titan. I messed up, honestly. I should have played the Psylocke. Just in case we top deck She-Hulk, Moon Girl would clog our hand. Right, Nova. This is a mess, honestly. What kind of deck is this supposed to be, man? I don't get it. We pass. We go for the infinite line, I'm pretty sure, and we snap. Even if he drops Hela, he gets a Black Cat and a Dino, and the Dino is not that big, and we're pretty far ahead on Titan. I snapped too late and I clogged my hand for sure. What is this play, man? Quantum Realm ruins your card. I don't get it. So we have to be afraid of Shang-Chi, obviously. He could nuke our Sunspot, our She-Hulk, or our... Yeah, well, no Shang-Chi in this deck, I guess. We take it. That was a weird play and that was a weird deck, but what you gonna do?